Hello and welcome to the Destiny Alpha. A lot has been shown off about this game recently, which has been really good for the game's publicity, and they're actually doing quite a good job in showing it off at the same time. Some of the trailers that we have seen have been absolutely amazing. The game does look fantastic, and it's got to be said that the gameplay is just as good as what you would expect it to be. So what you're seeing in this video is a game type called Control, which is on the Crucible on the game. And basically this Crucible is where you get to battle other players. So it's away from that single player element of the game and into the multiplayer element of the game, which I think is quite good. So what is Control, you might ask? It is similar to Domination, which everybody knows from Call of Duty. So basically you run around, you capture the flags, you kill the players. There you go, that's basically the game type in a nutshell. Now I don't know about you, but I love game types like this. It always gives you something to go and do. Not just killing the players, but I'm more of an objective based person, so I'm always going for the objective. I'm always trying to make sure that the objective is ours and not theirs, so that we end up winning the match. That is more important to me than getting kills and getting on the scoreboard. So this is a map called Rested Lands, which is quite a nice map. The flags are decently laid out across the map, which is quite nice. Of the two maps that I've played in the alpha, I would say this is the better map. I prefer it a lot more. It doesn't have the vehicle element to it as well. On the other map you get to have vehicles, you can obviously get across the map quite quick. And there's turrets on the map as well. So after playing both maps, I definitely prefer this one. I'm more of a close quarters kind of guy, so I prefer this map. It's quite good. But the flags are decently laid out. So what we started to do on this map was start at sea, then we go around the map and back in on ourselves. And it worked out quite a good little tactic. And what I tended to do on this map was stick with a team more, because in the past couple of matches that I played, I tended to be on my own a lot, and I tend to be getting owned quite a lot at the same time. So I tried to stay with the team, and it turned out quite well for me. I think I only died a few times compared to the other matches where I died a few more times than I would have liked. So far I'm actually finding the multiplayer element of the game quite good. I'm quite surprised because I don't play FPSs on consoles. It doesn't feel natural to do it, because when you're more of a PC gamer you don't really want to go onto a console and play an FPS. The reflexes are a lot slower, and obviously you have to use the analog sticks, and it just feels a little bit twitchy every now and then. But I'm quite surprised at how well I'm easing into the game. It's taken me about 10-15 minutes to actually understand what the buttons are, what to do, where to go. It really doesn't have that big of a learning curve on it. I know it's only the alpha stage, so obviously things can even be refined even further. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Bungie are going to do next with this game. Obviously there's a beta to come, and then obviously the game gets released on September 9th, 2014. So it's not really long left until the game actually gets released fully. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of PS4's major games for the rest of the year. It's going to be a really big hit, and I'm expecting it to get quite a lot of players on it. Now I do believe the weapon that I'm using at the moment is one of the very first assault rifles that you get, which is actually quite good. I've used a couple of other weapons, including a pulse rifle, but I wasn't a big fan of that one because it's burst fire. I'd rather have something a little bit more automatic. I also chose to be a warlock when I started the game as well, so my melee attack is a little bit different from other people's, I think. I haven't seen too much on the other classes. This is literally the only class that I've made at the moment. So I'm going to be experimenting a little bit and seeing how I do with other classes and see what they have to offer. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. I'm also looking forward to unlocking a few new weapons, customising my class a little bit, changing my armour, you know, just things like that to customise your character a little bit more. Now even though the game is in the alpha stage, the game does feel quite refined at the moment. I haven't noticed too many bugs, which is an amazing thing at alpha stage. If you don't notice too many bugs at alpha stage, then you're doing a good job. I'm pretty chuffed with the way that the game actually runs at the moment as well. I haven't noticed any frame rate drops or any glitches here and there. I think it's running fantastically at the moment, so you cannot fault that. Obviously I'm sure some people out there have spotted some bugs here and there, and obviously these have been spotted, been reported and whatnot. So the beta stage is going to be really good, because there's going to be more people flooding onto that beta because of pre-orders and things like that as well. Also, when the game gets released, I think it's going to be a fantastic hit. The way the game is at the moment, it's well worth taking a look at. If you have the chance to go into the beta, I would definitely do it. If you want to know how I actually got onto this alpha, I signed up for the alpha around E3 time. They announced obviously they were doing their alpha stage, and I registered for it literally straight away. And I managed to get myself a code on Thursday, and I was pretty chuffed with it. It's got to be said. So I downloaded the game. I was fully expecting something to be out of place or something to go wrong, but it's such a smooth transition, and the way that you get into the game is just fantastic. Press a couple of buttons and that's it. You make your character, you customize your character, that's it. You go straight into the open world and there you go, done. It's as easy as that, and the way it does it on the PS4 is just a credit to how easy it is to actually develop for the PS4. So many more developers are wanting to develop for the PS4 because apparently it's so much easier, and I can see it because the amount of games that Sony showed at E3 was just phenomenal. They had so much to show off. But anyway, leading back onto the game, I really need to talk about the gameplay because I'm really chuffed to bits with the gameplay that I had. I'm really glad that I got to play so much of it and not have any issues with it. I have a feeling that I've cheated Bungie out of an amazing game, because that's what it feels like to me at the moment. One of the most useful tools in the game is the minimap on the top left corner. When an enemy is close to you, one of the quadrants on the minimap glow red, so it shows you which direction they're coming in. So if they're running towards you, it's going to show up on the map. If they're crouching towards you, I don't think it's going to show up because obviously your radar can't detect it. And it also shows you on the very outside of the minimap exactly which direction they're coming from further away. And also if there are vehicles available on the map, it will show you glowing in white which direction they're actually in. You'll also find, for a few balancing purposes, where you usually get to spam grenades in some different games, this one, where you throw one grenade, that's it. You have to wait for the grenade to recharge. It's the same with your melee attack as well. So you have to wait for these to recharge. You can see these at the bottom left of the screen on the HUD. So when you use it, it empties the bar and it just fills up that picture slowly. You get the energy back and you can start again. That, I think, really balances the game quite well, so you can't just run around throwing grenades at people, getting close to people and just meleeing them for fun until they die. Although people have shields, if they've got low health and they're just hiding in the corner waiting for their health to regenerate, you're just going to get close to them and just melee them. And I think that's a bit cheap, really. It's a cheap shot. So it balances the game a bit better, and I think the shields help balance it a little bit more as well. But one of the things that I found to be a problem was the balancing with some weapons. I found with some of the weapons that the enemy has, I'm not sure which weapon it is, maybe a shotgun. Maybe a shotgun is something more powerful than that. They hit you with one shot and they deplete your shield and they deplete your health in one shot. And I think that's a little bit overpowered, so there could be a few things to be balanced on. So there are a few balancing issues. Obviously they can get those sorted before the release date, so that's going to be one of the plus points. But on the multiplayer, on the Crucible, there is a few balancing issues, so they need to sort them out really. One of the good things I found about this game type as well is that when you deplete the enemy's flag, you neutralise the flag and you still have to wait for you to actually capture the flag. So it makes you stand around the point a little bit longer, but it also gives the enemy team a bit of an advantage to get to you before you actually take that flag. So it's not like other games where you just take the flag instantly. You have to wait around for the flag to actually get captured. I think that this match turned out quite well. I got some decent kills in there, but there was one point where I died once and I died a few other times after that. I would have liked to have gone the whole match without dying, obviously. But there were always some points where I was getting shot at and I was just about to die, so I had to just stand in a corner. And that's one of the things that I didn't like about the balancing, because you would get shot but your health would come down so much and you didn't really have nowhere to go. Sometimes I would just fly away, sometimes I would just stand in the corner. It's one of the great things about playing as the Warlock as well. I'm not sure if it's the same for other players, but You can use a jetpack as well, so if you double tap X you can glide away instead of just jumping away. So that's quite a decent feature. I also like that to try and get around the map a bit quicker, and you can give yourself a height advantage as well. So if I'm going in on this B point, for example, I would glide over the B point, and then if I see anyone below, I would drop a grenade or I'd start shooting them early on. So they would have to look up. By the time they look up, hopefully I've killed them on the floor. So I'll do that quite a few times. I also like to make use of the grenades wherever possible, because you tend to find that, like what we did on this match here, teams tend to stay together a lot more. So you would need a grenade to obviously throw in, and maybe you'll be able to get 2 targets out of the way. I did that quite a few times, and I've got a few double kills on this game so far. So the grenades are actually quite powerful. It's not just one blast, it stays there for a while, so if any enemy walks into that blast, it's going to kill them or deplete their health a little bit to give you a chance to, you know, get that final shot on them. What you can do as well, either in the Crucible or in the open world, you can taunt as well, so you can start dancing over dead bodies if you wanted to, or you can wave at people or point at people, and that's just a couple of small taunts that you can do, which is, you know, puts a bit of personality into the game. So I've used these a few times, maybe danced over a few dead bodies, maybe waved at a few bad guys and then got shot in the face, but hey, what are you going to do? Now I think I would have to play the game a little bit more to actually decide whether I was going to buy this or not. It's not my type of style to actually buy an FPS on a console. I would always play an FPS on the PC, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to what the game has to offer. And not to mention, I've got loads of pre-orders on at the moment. I must have at least 12 pre-orders on at the moment for all types of different games that we saw at E3. But anyway, guys and girls, thank you very much for watching. This has been the Destiny Alpha. This is on the PlayStation 4. The beta is coming out soon, and you can also pick up the game on the 9th of September, which is very, very close now, so you'll be able to pick up this amazing game. So I would get excited. Destiny has a lot more to come. Thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at EuGaming News. Follow me on Twitter at EuGBeeg. And please don't forget to do the main things: comment, like and subscribe. Those are the main things on the YouTubes. So please don't forget to do that. And I will see you next time. There's an annotation at the end of this video for you to check out some Destiny gameplay which I've also stuck on the channel. So check that out, because that's pretty cool. And I will see you next time. Enjoy.